The evolution of trams. A journey through time. A peep into the history by Murali Edutech Fact Files. Trams, often referred to as streetcars, are a highly favored mode of transportation in numerous cities globally, thanks to their affordability, comfort, and punctuality for commuters. Additionally, this system is eco-friendly. Currently, more than 380 cities globally have established dedicated tram systems that operate on fixed routes and regular schedules, facilitating the efficient movement of people over long distances while minimizing disruption to regular vehicular traffic. Many urban areas have chosen to implement tramways due to their lower construction costs compared to extensive underground subway systems, and their ability to integrate seamlessly into existing urban infrastructure without significant street renovations. Trams have a rich history that traces back to horse-drawn carriages and has progressed to electric systems. Their journey began in the early 1800s with horse-drawn and steam-powered trams, eventually transitioning to electric models by the late 1800s. Trams gained significant popularity in Europe and beyond, boasting over 100,000 units in operation by 1914. The Swansea and Mumbles Railway, located in Wales, UK, holds the distinction of being the world's first passenger tram. The British Parliament enacted the Mumbles Railway Act in 1804, leading to the commencement of operations for this pioneering horse-drawn passenger tramway in 1807. The inaugural streetcar in the United States, created by John Stephenson, commenced operations in 1832. This marked the beginning of the 4th Avenue line of the New York and Harlem Railroad, which traveled along the Bowery and 4th Avenue in New York City. These streetcars operated as an animal-powered railway, typically employing horses, and occasionally mules, to pull the cars, usually in pairs. The inaugural tram in continental Europe was launched in France in 1839, connecting Montbrison and Montrond, operating both on urban streets and along rural roads. Although it was authorized for steam power, it was exclusively powered by horses. The inaugural tram service in South America commenced on June 10, 1858, in Santiago, Chile. In Australia, the first trams began operating in 1860 in Sydney. Africa's initial tram line was launched in Alexandria on January 8, 1863. Meanwhile, Asia's first trams were introduced in 1869 in Batavia, which is present-day Jakarta, Indonesia. Starting in the late 1800s, horse-drawn carriages were predominantly supplanted by electric trams. Numerous inventors and companies played a role in this shift, with Werner von Siemens leading the way in electric traction development in Berlin during the early 1880s. In the United States, Frank J. Sprague's innovative approach to harnessing electricity from overhead wires with trolleys initiated a significant shift. By the end of 1887 and the beginning of 1888, Sprague successfully established the first large-scale electric street railway system in Richmond, Virginia. Horse-drawn trams continue to run on the Douglas Bay Horse Tramway, constructed in 1876 on the Isle of Man, as well as on the Victor Harbour Horse-Drawn Tram, which was built in 1894 in Adelaide, South Australia. Additionally, new horse-drawn tram systems have been introduced at the Hokkaido Museum in Japan and at Disneyland. The initial mechanical trams operated using steam power. These steam tram systems were found in locations such as Christchurch, New Zealand, Adelaide, South Australia, Sydney, Australia, and various cities in New South Wales, Munich, Germany starting in August 1883, British India from 1885, The Hague, Netherlands in 1878, and the Dublin and Blessington Steam Tramway in Ireland from 1888. Additionally, steam tramways were utilized on suburban lines around Milan and Padua, with the last Gamba de Legne, peg leg, tramway ceasing operations on the Milan-Magenta-Castano Primo route in late 1958. An alternative propulsion system for trams was the cable car, which was drawn along a designated track by a moving steel cable. The energy required to operate the cable was typically supplied from a powerhouse located some distance from the tram itself. The London and Blackwell Railway, which began passenger service in East London, England, in 1840, utilized this system. Between 1885 and 1940, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia boasted one of the largest cable tram systems globally, reaching a maximum of 592 trams across 75 kilometers of track. However, during its prime, Sydney's network surpassed it, operating approximately 1,600 trams simultaneously at its peak in the 1930s. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, various regions around the globe utilized trams powered by gas, particularly naphtha and coal gas. Notably, gas trams operated between Alphington and Clifton Hill in Melbourne, Australia, 1886 to 1888, in Berlin and Dresden, Germany, and between Jelenia Góra, Ciplas, and Sobieżo in Poland, starting in 1897. In the UK, they were also in use at Lytham Street, Annis and Neath, 1896 to 1920, as well as Trafford Park in Manchester, 1897 to 1908. The inaugural experimental electric tramway was created by Fedor Pirotsky, an inventor from the Poltava region of Ukraine. The first electric tram line to achieve commercial success was established in Lichterfeld, near Berlin, Germany, in 1881, thanks to Werner von Siemens. In 1891, Leeds launched Europe's inaugural overhead electric service, known as the Roundhay Electric Tramway. In 1883, the Mödling and Hinterbrühl tram commenced operations near Vienna, Austria, marking the world's first electric tram in regular service, powered by an overhead line and pantograph current collectors. The first tram system in Canada was established by John Joseph Wright in Toronto in 1883. Budapest launched its tramway system in 1887, and its ring line has become the most heavily trafficked tram line in Europe, featuring a tram every 60 seconds during peak hours. The Kyoto Electric Railroad, which began operations in 1895, was Japan's inaugural tram system. By 1932, it had expanded to include 82 railway companies across 65 cities, covering a total distance of 1,479 kilometers. However, by the 1960s, trams had largely disappeared from Japan. Kolkata, India boasts the world's second oldest tram network still in operation, following Turin, Italy, as noted by Wikipedia. Despite the closure of numerous networks in the post-war years, the remaining systems continue to evolve their rolling stock, introducing multi-car trains and articulated trams with double-end designs and automatic control systems. This innovation enabled a single driver to accommodate more passengers while reducing turnaround times. Additionally, enhancements in passenger and driver comfort were achieved through the introduction of cushioned seats and cabin heating. Over 200 cities in Europe operate active tram lines, with more than 36,000 trams and light rail vehicles in service globally. Prague boasts the largest fleet, with 920 trams, while other significant fleets can be found in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Budapest, and Warsaw. These trams utilize nearly 16,000 kilometers of light rail tracks. Trams are an essential part of public transportation systems in cities around the world. Combining the efficiency of rail travel with the accessibility of city streets, trams offer a sustainable, reliable, and cost-effective means of urban mobility. Trams represent a blend of tradition and innovation, providing cities with a sustainable alternative to car-dominated transport networks. As urban populations grow and the need for climate-conscious planning becomes more urgent, trams are once again becoming a symbol of smart, people-centered cities. Thanks for joining us. Please share and subscribe to our channel.